Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhan Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhan Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Yashoda Nandana Brajagana Randana Yashoda Nandana Brajagana Randana Jamuna Tira Vanantari Jamuna Tira Vanantari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhan Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhan Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhan Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodananda Brajagana Randana Yashodanandana Brajagana Randana Jamuna Tira Vanantari Jamuna Tira Vanantari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande. Jai Vishupad Paramahamsa. Pari Braj Gachaja Stotra Satya Sri Simad His Divine Grace. Shirabai Charan Arvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Skandi Biti Founder Acharyas Divine Grace Sri Prabhupada Ki Namasarya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Harinama Sankirtan Ki Antaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Thai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga. All glories to Sri Prabhupada Ki.
Jai Sri Prabhupada ki Jai.
Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksuranmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavam Sya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Swam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitam Sya Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhu vyaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Narayanam namaskritya Naram chaiva narotamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Nara, Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesha badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatu Tamasloke Bhaktir Bhaviti Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, whose praise with transcendental songs becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahmasamitam Uttama Charitam Sakara Bhagavan Rishi Nistreya Sailokasya Dhanyam Swasyaya Namahat. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantara, as the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya,
Sri Krishna Chaitanya,
Prabhu Nityananda,
Prabhu Nityananda,
Sri Advaita
Sri
Gadadhara,
Advaita Gadadhara,
Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda,
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare
Rama
Hare.
Rama, Hare Hare.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Surabhyaya Namaha.
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 Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatkripa tamah bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam yatkripa tamah bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome to our morning Bhagavatam class, continuing from Canto number 1, chapter 11, entitled Lord Krishna's Entrance into Dwarka, and text number 22. Yes. Prabha Abhivadana
Abhivadana.
Aslesha
Aslesha.
Kara
Kara.
Sparsha
Spasha.
Smitekshanai
Smritishanai.
Asvasya
Asvasya.
Chasvapakebhyo
Chashapakibhyo.
Varaish
Varaish.
Chabhimatair
Savimatair.
Vibuhu
Vibhu.
Prabhabhivadanas Desha
Prabhavidhananisesha.
Karasparsha Smitekshanai
Karasparsha smitikshanai.
Asvasya Chasvapakebhyo
Asvasya chashapakibhyo.
Varaisa Chabhimatair Vibuhu
Varaisa chabhimatair vibhu.
Prabhabhivadanashlesha
Prabhavivadanaslecha.
Karasparsha Smitekshanai
Karasparsha smitikshanai.
Aspasya Chasvapakebhyo
Asvasya chashapakibhyo.
Varais Chabhimatair Vibuhu
Varaisa chabhimatair vibhu.
Prabhabhivadanashlesha
Prabhavivadanaslecha.
Karasparsha Smitikshanai
Karasparsha smitikshanai.
Asvasya Chasvapakebhyo
Asvasya chashapakibhyo.
Varais Chabhimatair Vibuhu
Varaisa chabhimatair vibhu.
Prabhavivadanashlesha
Prabhavivadanaslecha.
Parasparsha smitikshanai
Karasparsha smitikshanai.
Ashvasya shashvapakebhyo
Asvasya chashapakibhyo.
Varaichaभिमतैर्विभो
Varaisa chabhimatair vibhu.
Prabhavivadanashlesha
Prabhavivadanaslecha.
Parasparsha smitikshanai
Karasparsha smitikshanai.
Asvasya स्वपाकेभ्यो
Asvasya chakebhyo.
वरैश्चाभिमतैर्विभुः
Varaisa chabhimatair vibhu. Prabhavivadanaslisha Karasvarsasmidikshane Asvasya Chasvapakebhyo Varesha Vimate Vibhu Prahavidvadanaslisha
Prabhavivadanaslisha
Karasparsasmitikshane
Karasvashasmikshane
Asrasya Chasvakapebhyo
Ashvasya Chashvapakebhyo
Varasravi Mauter Vibhu
Vareshadrimatarvibhu Prabhavivadanaslisha
Prabhavivadanaslisha
Karasvashasmikshane
Karasvarsasmitikshane
Ashvasya Chapekebhyo
Asrasya Chasvakapebhyo
Vareshadrimatarvibhu
Varesha Vimamedvibhu
Prabha,
Prabha
by bowing his head,
by bowing his head
Abhivadana,
Abhivadana
by greeting with words,
by greeting with words
Aslesha,
Aslesha
embracing,
embracing
Karasparsha,
Karasvarsha
shaking hands,
shaking hands
Smita Ikshanai,
Matikshane
by a glancing smile,
by a glancing smile
Aswasya,
Asvasya
by encouragement,
by encouragement
Cha,
Cha
and
and
Ashapakebhyaha,
Asvapakebhya
down to the lowest rank
down to the lowest rank
of dog eaters.
of dog eaters
Varai,
by
by benedictions,
by benediction
Cha,
Cha
also
also
Abhimatai,
Abhimatai
as desired by
as desired by
Vibhuhu,
Vibhu
the Almighty.
the Almighty.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai.
The Almighty Lord greeted everyone present by bowing his head, exchanging greetings, embracing, shaking hands, looking and smiling, giving assurances and awarding benedictions, even to the lowest in rank. Kindly repeat after me. The Almighty Lord
The Almighty Lord
greeted everyone present
created everyone present
by bowing his head,
by bowing his head,
exchanging greetings,
exchanging greetings,
embracing,
embracing,
shaking hands,
shaking hands,
looking and smiling,
looking and smiling,
giving assurances
giving assurances,
and awarding benedictions,
and awarding benedictions,
even to the lowest in rank.
even to the lowest in rank.
Report. To receive the Lord Sri Krishna, there were all grades of population, beginning with Vasudev, Ugrasena, and Gargamuni, the father, grandfather, and teacher, down to the prostitutes and chandalas who were accustomed to eat dogs. And every one of them was properly greeted by the Lord in terms of rank and position. As pure living entities, all are the separated parts and parcels of the Lord, and thus no one is alien by his eternal relation. Such pure living entities are graded differently in terms of contamination of the modes of material nature. But the Lord is equally affectionate to all his parts and parcels, despite material gradation. He descends only to recall these materialistic living beings back to his kingdom. And intelligent persons take advantage of this facility offered by the personality of Godhead to all living beings. No one is rejected by the Lord from the kingdom of God. It remains with the living being to accept this or not. Translation again. The Almighty Lord greeted everyone present by bowing his head, exchanging greetings, embracing, shaking hands, looking and smiling, giving assurances, awarding benedictions, and even to the lowest in ranks. So Lord Krishna is about to enter, hasn't quite entered, in the process of entering Dwarka, and is very nicely being greeted by so many different personalities. And depending on the various citizens who are greeting him, he is reciprocating accordingly, even shaking hands. It's unusual. We actually, the first time, at least I read about the Lord shaking hands, was when Lord Brahma actually has darshan of the Lord at the beginning of the creation. It mentions how Lord Brahma shook hands with the Supreme Lord. Question may come, here it mentions how the Lord also, I mean, he's entering Dwarka. Dwarka is the transcendental abode of the Lord. And here it mentions how there are personalities who are, what is it, described as the Sanskrit is Ashvapakebhyaha, down to the lowest rank of dog eaters. So one may question, what are dog eaters doing in Dwarka? How to understand?
They are living not in, especially in Dwarka, but nearby.
Outskirts,
They come
correct.
by hearing.
Yes, correct. But there are prostitutes living in Dwarka.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, we were reading that verse just a few days ago. So, yeah, some interesting points are being made that the mm, the Lord is by nature, of course, very attractive because he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But he is attractive not only to those who are his devotees, but even to other living entities who may not be his devotees. And what is important also is that the Lord is ready, and he is specifically demonstrating this in this description. He is not only ready, but actually eager to exchange with all living entities, regardless of their nature or position, because Krishna has It is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Pandita Samardarshinaha. He sees all living entities as his eternal, ultimately as his eternal servants. He sees every living entity as individual personalities with whom each and every living entity is meant to have a personal, loving relationship with him. And therefore, it means that the Lord is never rejecting anyone, even though one may be completely engrossed by the modes of material nature, which is what takes place when the living entity is in this material world. But although the living entity is forgetful of the Lord, when we hear the description in the Bhagavatam of how at the end of every day's, at the end of every Lord Brahma's day, when Lord Brahma sleeps for his 12 hours, the living entities merge into the womb of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And when Lord Brahma leaves his body, those living entities who are still connected with the modes of material nature, they merge in the body of Mahavishnu. That means that living entities who are still conditioned by these modes of material nature have a very deep and prolonged forgetfulness of their identity and of their eternal relationship with the Lord. It means we are, that's why the term Nitya Baddha, Nitya means eternal, Baddha, condition. Living entity who has forgotten his relationship with the Lord is described as eternally conditioned. Not that he is actually eternally conditioned, but as if it is eternally, because it's such a long time. And therefore, even though those who are fortunate to come in contact with the Lord, are beginning to reawaken their understanding, it still takes a long time to reawaken and to reestablish our individual personal relationship with Krishna, which means that we should not be, discouraged that it takes a long time, because we have been separated from the Lord. The expression is like since time immemorial, practically. We cannot trace out since how long the jiva, living entity, conditioned soul. And the Lord, he descends actually for that very purpose, either directly as he did 5,000 years ago, or through so many, innumerable. Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam. Anantarupam. Rupam means form. Ananta, unlimited. The Lord descends many, many times. We may think, well, where is he? He is present in different millenniums. And he incarnates in many different ways as well. And even when he incarnates, as he did 5,000 years ago, not everyone recognizes him. Prabhupada explains actually just a handful of people actually knew, understood, recognized, although he performed so many superhuman activities. Only few recognize that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But whenever the Lord descends and incarnates, he gives that opportunity to living entities, those who are still engrossed in material activities, those who are still conditioned by the modes of material nature. And he's actually eager. The Lord is eager. It's like, because he comes again and again and again, that means he is in this way demonstrating his eagerness, his desire to actually again reconnect and give opportunity to the conditioned souls to reconnect. Because as long as we are not reconnected with Krishna, as long as we remain forgetfulness of our relationship with Krishna, then we suffer, isn't it? Forgetfulness of Krishna means engaging in activities which are creating karmic reaction. And even to the point of coming in contact with this knowledge, even to the point of becoming devotees, until we completely become, pure devotees, that tendency of forgetfulness is there. And that struggle with the modes of material nature is also there. Although on the one side we can say, this is explained by Srila Rupa Goswami, anyone who comes in contact with this knowledge, devotional service, is considered already liberated. But there is still that period, that struggling period of dealing and coping with the modes of material nature. But if one is serious in applying the process, then it is assured. It is assured that one very soon will actually become liberated from these modes of material nature. So the text is explaining in the various ways in which Krishna reciprocates. When he enters Dwarka, to some of them he just like acknowledges their presence, bowing the head, showing some. In India, especially, the head movement is significant, and sometimes not always understood. It may be yes or maybe no. The subtleties involved. So yes, even during the residents, those who were living in Dwarka, in the city of Dwarka, they were, as it was described earlier, they're all eternal associates of the Lord. And there were many people, because naturally Krishna, when he was, Krishna was already this Leela is taking place right after the Battle of Kurukshetra. So Krishna had already performed 95 years of his Leela. Actually, beginning in Vrindavan, Mathura Vrindavan, then Dwar, then Mathura, and then anyone know how old was Krishna when he migrated to Dwarka, when he left Mathura? We don't hear about that so much.
16 years after he arrived to Mathura, and he arrived to Mathura at 11 or 12, so 16 plus 12 years,
Say,
20,
close to 30,
28.
28. That, yeah. Yes, so it means that actually Krishna, just like even 500 years ago, Lord Chaitanya was like, because of his activities and because of who he was known. He was he was like a famous personality. So Krishna 5,000 years ago, he by performing his so many different activities, so many people knew about him. So when he came back to Dwarka, not only the residents of Dwarka, but as it is mentioned here, even people who were very low in terms of status, swapaka, dog eaters, as described in the Bhagavad Gita. So the way the Lord looks upon everyone, the way he reciprocates with everyone, is meant to be how those who are the devotees of the Lord are also meant to show that type of mercy. It is generally, from a materialistic point of view, we kind of reject or don't associate with people who are of a different nature or lower in consciousness, but actually association has to be understood, I suppose, properly. Prabhupada would explain that for those who are not Krishna conscious, we we can associate with them in the sense of not taking their association, but giving them the opportunity to know about Krishna, giving them the association of Krishna consciousness, isn't it? And that is that is the special quality, special quality of devotees, of Vaishnavas. Titikshava karunika suridam sarvadehinam. Three foremost qualities. Titikshaka, very very tolerant, and karunika, full of compassion and mercy. Having having that understanding that even those who are described as miscreants, those who are forgetful, engaged in sinful activities, that is just external. They're actually devotees. All living entities are actually eternal devotees. Simply they have forgotten and are engaged in all kinds of sinful activities. So Krishna, he displays these qualities of being most compassionate upon all living entities, and Suridam sarvadehinam. Same thing that is in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhoktaram jaggatapasam sarvaloka maheswaram suridam sarva bhutanam gyatvamam shantim riciti. So the more we develop this understanding, this consciousness, then we will also learn the art. Prabhupada would similarly reciprocate with different people differently. Sometimes he would not even preach to people, interestingly enough. Or his way of preaching, his way of connecting. I think one time, one person, he was not particularly interested, and he had a very nice, attractive, and like watch. Some people are into wearing or getting nice watches. Some people are into getting the latest cell phones. Some people in Dubai, for example, they're into cars and cell phones because they have money and they can buy. So Prabhupada was explaining about his watch, and the whole conversation was really not about Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada was trying to relate to that person according to his level of his capacity of understanding. In other words, Prabhupada sometimes would simply make friendship, which in itself is a big, is something very, we could say basic. One time, the devotees, they would organize that different persons would come to meet Srila Prabhupada when he would travel to different places. And devotees would invite professors or scientists or different types of prominent people. And there was one time one person who came, he was some kind of intellectual, and devotees thought that, well, yeah, he would have some questions, but he had no questions. So Prabhupada just spent, I think, half an hour he took out his harmonium and sang some bhajan. So Srila Prabhupada was very expert in understanding the mind, the mentality of individuals, and accordingly he would reciprocate. So likewise, as devotees, we need to develop that type of a consciousness, seeing everyone as ultimately a potential. Everyone is a devotee, but has forgotten that he is a devotee. But everyone has that that ability, that innate tendency, actually, of becoming, of becoming a devotee with tilak. Sometimes we look at the pictures of people. Well, I guess we can begin with our own selves. How we looked before we became devotees. We were quite different. Some of us more so than others. So in other words, even it's like, Jagai and Madai must have looked very different before becoming surrendered souls to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So even the greatest of demons actually has that within him, that that quality of devotion, ultimately, Krishna Bhakti, that is nicely explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Nitya Siddha, Krishna Bhakti. This ability, this tendency, this quality of of being a devotee of Krishna is within each and every living entity, and and somehow all of us who have come to Krishna consciousness, part of our we can say duty or responsibility is to try and awaken that. In addition to awakening that in ourselves, first and foremost, we need to awaken that within our own hearts. And if we, the more we understand, the more we appreciate this gift. It's a gift. It's a very precious gift. We tend to forget how Krishna consciousness is the most precious of gifts. Then the more we appreciate, we will naturally want to give that opportunity to other jivas, to other living entities. And that's, of course, falls within the realm of preaching. So that's how Prabhupada concludes here the purport, that he descends to recall these materialistic living beings back to his kingdom. No one is rejected by the Lord. Yes. So I'm reading again the translation, if there's any thoughts or comments on this. The Almighty Lord greeted everyone present by bowing his head, exchanging greetings, embracing, shaking hands, looking and smiling, giving assurances, and awarding benedictions, even to the lowest in rank. Nice, no? Any thoughts or comments? Yeah, I know you're giving the chance to everyone, but no one is taking it.
We shouldn't stay silent because it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
So like all the plants giving their own best. So a human being, we should give our best, and we can speak. So we should speak about the beauty of what we've heard, and we can reflect. So it's our duty.
yeah, it's part of our duty, huh?
Yeah. Becoming human being, we have to speak nicely.
Yeah. Nature is speaking in so many ways, in her way. I mean, all the living entities that make up, that are part of nature. Just like Gornitai was making, Gornitai Prabhu was making the remark, very nice observation this morning after being away for 2 months. So many nice tulsi around. Yeah. Uh, our head pujari was telling, I think I shared that some time back, how when I first started to do my seva here, our Rajasekar Prabhu was telling, when I first started to do the seva here, I had to go to a Rasamrita Kunj to get some tulsi. There was no tulsi here, because we need tulsi for doing the puja. And now he just has to walk a few, walks here, walks there. Yeah, I'm surprised actually, because we planted maybe a few tulsi, but it's like they're all going around, on that side also. It's Mayapur, Nadia, Bengal, the soil that's part of it.
So wonderful, if you come to the other part of the world, and like Krishna values, really devotees do the best. So I was seeing that how nicely they try to grow flowers.
It's tough.
So, and my family, who is living in a city, they came and there was so many flowers. Like if you come here, almost without any effort, for a little, taking care, flowers like growing like anything.
Right.
And so many other smell, you should go out from the holy place to appreciate, because if you are here, so you just used to be.
Yeah, great. Taking things for granted.
Yeah. And
That,
also, as you read this beautiful verse, I should mention that I don't hear people to speak so nicely. People speak very, in a condemned way. They don't speak nicely. They don't know how to speak nicely on their own language. But here we can read this Bhagavatam. It's beautiful.
yes.
And as Prabhupada explaining, it's more beautiful.
Yeah.
So how many details Prabhupada put there, and gives a very great effort to show us the beauty of the Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
Beauty of the heart of Shukadev Goswami, who is showing the heart of Shri Krishna.
Yes.
So that is in Krishna's heart,
Yes.
affections, emotions.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You mentioned that the jiva is separated part of Krishna, but still Krishna maintaining them.
Yes.
But when we reconnect ourselves, not by maintenance, not get some food from Krishna, but get emotions.
Yes. Yes.
That emotions are the most important part of the living entity.
Yes. Yes.
I was thinking.
Yes. Yes, and as you rightly point out, and it is mentioned again and again in the Bhagavatam and by our acharyas, that this human form of life is especially meant to unveil, to uncover, to experience, what other living entities don't have that ability. All of the different species of life, all of plants and whatnot. I mean, they have their beauty in many ways. They have their qualities. Flowers are very fragrant, very nice to look at, but they can't speak. We have the ability to to speak, to express, to awaken, and Krishna consciousness becomes more and more relishable when that natural state of being actually becomes more awakened within ourselves. Otherwise, it's like what we call, in a normal relationship, people talk to one another. In a relationship that is not normal, either because one is angry or because one is too shy or whatever, that exchange doesn't take place. So Krishna is always eager to actually bring out within us exchanges, and he wants to exchange this. Just like people, like lovers, people who are in love, they're constantly exchanging. They're constantly discovering, isn't it? So human form of life actually is meant to uncover, to discover, to exchange. Ultimately with Krishna, but with Krishna's living entities, especially amongst devotees, amongst Vaishnavas, and the various topics that we hear about in the Bhagavatam, especially, are meant to kind of evoke, help bring that out. That's why it's important for devotees, especially in the Bhagavatam class and outside the Bhagavatam class, to share whatever thoughts or or feelings or emotions also that that are meant to be awakened when we hear various topics that are presented in the Bhagavatam. Yeah, we are what is called sentient beings. What is sentient being? What is the meaning of sentient?
Who is not sleeping?
Yeah, right. Sentient, senses. There's, what is it? Animate and inanimate?
Yes.
Huh? Animate. What does animate mean?
Animate means those have developed consciousness, moving.
Moving.
Yes. Moving by themselves.
Well, not all animate beings are moving. Trees don't move.
Like they have consciousness. Yes.
Animate. That means alive.
Yes.
Means living. Means, yes, conscious. Hare Krishna. See, as soon as the sun comes out, it's not so hot. Oh, okay. Took it away, didn't bring it back. So today, let's see. We will be starting, we've been waiting for this for a long time, the upper portion of our Yagyashala, which will be closely monitored by Zayadev, and I will be closely monitoring you to make sure that it comes up properly. Yagyashala is like an integral part of a temple and community, devotee community, because we'll be having different functions there. The first one will be actually on the 25th of December. And just to remind, I think it's important to remind our devotees here, because it's like every day is getting us closer to the month of December, where a third week of December, we expect to have a good number of devotees visiting here, and we need to do a number of things to actually prepare to receive, devotees. By that time, obviously, this will be covered. Gornitai Prabhu has already brought a sample from Kolkata of tiles that we will be using. And our Goshala, I think Goshala was not there, maybe, definitely not as it is now. So between now and December, we hope to be graced by 2 permanent living entities, Gavi, cows. Yeah. We're actually looking for Kapila cow. You know about Kapila cow?
Actually, I spoke to Smita Krishna Prabhu Maharaj. He suggested me that you look for local breed.
Well, Kapila cows are also local.
Yes, I will tell that him.
Kapila cows are also in Orissa and also on the border of Bengal, not so far away. We have Kapila. Huh?
I will talk to him about that, how to bring that.
No, I'm saying the Kapila cows there are maybe a larger percentage of Kapila cows in South India,
Yes.
but there are Kapila cows as well in Orissa and in Bengal. Yes. Kapila cows, for those who may not know, are like smaller cows. I mean, not real small, but they're much smaller than Gir cows. And Gir cows are not really cows for this area. So, yeah, the point of getting cows that are more naturally, Krishna has placed cows in different places according to their nature and according to the nature of that place. Yeah. So we are keeping that in mind also. Yes. In any event, that will be a major development that will be soon taking place here. Yes. Okay, I think we can bring this to an end for now. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Jai Sri Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Gaur Pimanandi.
Hari Hari Bol.